Hi ladies, it's Robyn. I am back to share with you how I bind my mini albums. I've had a lot of questions almost every day, and so I just set aside time and I just determined I was going to do it this week. So what I have in front of me is my daughter's mini album that she's working on for a swap, and she has graciously agreed to allow me to use hers to demonstrate to you. So what you're going to need to do is, of course, measure how long and how wide you need it. And then I like to add a ½ inch to whatever the actual measurement is. That way you have 1/4 inch on either end. If you have a paper bag album, maybe you want to do it even a little longer. That way you have room for the tags to stick out of the pockets if that's what you'd like to do. So just something to consider. And then you need to cut 2 pieces of chipboard. I like medium weight chipboard, and then cover them on both sides with the pattern paper, and kind of be mindful of which way the pattern, the pattern orientation, because they will be similar in, it is kind of squared, so you'll need to kind of just realize that. Okay, and then you're also going to need, I like to do the cover after I get the mini album embellished, because you're going to need to know how wide to do your spine, and this one I'm going to do for 1 inch of room. You can see there, that way it'll expand a little bit. And she has taken the adhesive and, well, let me just show you what she's done. This would be a flap of a bag, and then she took it and attached it to the long end of the bag, and then folded the flap over. So this is how all the bags look. They all essentially have this bottom flap folded forward, and then she's glued those back to back, and then glued the 2 flaps together. And just alternating that, glue the long ends together, and then glue the flaps together. And she has 3 sets like that, so there's a total of 6 bags. And you'll end up with a flap on either end. It doesn't matter how many bags you have, just so you have the flap on either end. And this is, of course, just for the paper bag album. But and then, so I have cut a piece of chipboard that is the same length, as far as high, and 1 inch wide. And what I like to do, let me get some ink out here. I like to just go ahead and ink the ends so that they're sticking out here. I need to move quickly. Okay, let me get these aside for just a minute. Okay, so next I need to figure out what I am going to, how much overlay. I'm looking for a pen. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. So what I like to do, take into consideration, okay, this is going to be for the wraparound cover. I have a piece of, she chose chocolate chip textured cardstock, so I need to know what measurements to cut that with. Okay, so you take your 1 inch of spine, and then I like to have 1½ inches, 1½ inches, so let me grab one real quick. Okay, so I like to have 1½ inches on this section here. So add 1½ inches, and then the same on the front, 1½ inches. And then I like to tuck it under so it looks finished, and I give myself a ½ inch for that. So ½ inch here, ½ inch here, so adding another inch. Okay, so you see that we're just doing simple addition. You have 1 inch 1 inch that you carry over, so that would be 0. And then, so I'm going to make my my binding 5 inches by the length of the spine, which is 5½ inches. So 5 by 5½. So I take my paper trimmer. Okay. 5 by 5½. I'm going to move this trimmer, and I know that the 5½ is my length, so I want to do my scoring on the long with it going in the portrait position. Okay, so I like to use my score pal for this. So here's my ½ inch that I like to fold under, and then I go in 1½ inches, so that would be at 2. And just to keep it simple, I just flip it over ½ inch, and then at 2. And that gives me my 1 inch spine here. Let me grab my little piece here so you can see that that goes in. Okay, one other thing that I needed to cut that I forgot to cut was, let me get this out of the way. is I need to cut a piece to cover over this, the back part. One end is going to be attached, or one side is going to be attached right here, but I like to have a finished look, so I'm just going to cut. Okay, so I need a 1 inch by 5.5 inch. Okay, so 1 inch by 5.5. I'm just going to use my 18, well, let me do my scoring first. Bone folder out there. Okay, so you're going to want to score all of them very good. And then burnish them with your bone folder. And I am moving through this rather quickly, so if you have any questions, as always, please don't hesitate to just ask. I'm always happy to help you. Okay, so then I'm going to take my tape runner or ATG, and I'm just going to fold those side flaps over. Okay, and then I am going to put adhesive right here in the spine, and I'm going to place this between the score lines. Okay, now I'm going to put adhesive on here. Whoops, that's always a blessing. Okay. I'm not going to start over. I am just going to keep on going. So I'm just going to use my snail, because this actually is just cosmetic. And then I cover over this. And because my cardstock has texture, I made sure that that's on the outside. And then all you need to do next is use either red line tape or Score Pal. And I think I'm just going to use my red line tape. Find the end here. And then I put it on either end where I have the 1/2 inch score line. I need to clean my scissors, so excuse those if the camera's picking up how gunky they are. Is that a word, gunky? Okay, so I have adhesive here. Now I'm going to just put it right on about 1/4 inch in. That's it. That's all there is to it. I'm going to do that on both sides. See, it looks more, I guess, fussy than it really is. You see, I've done it in just a matter of just a couple minutes. I'm at 8 minutes now, so I need to really quickly get this done. All right. Then I take my binding, again, making sure that the orientation is correct, and just peel that off. Okay, and then I just butt that up against here, making sure it's even, because this red line tape is very unforgiving, so once it sticks, it's stuck. Okay, and then do the same on this side. I'm going to do it on time here, almost 9 minutes. Okay, so I need to rush a little bit quicker. Do the same on this side. Okay, so this essentially is the binding. And then of course I need to make sure that's attached. And then I will just run some more red line tape right along here, and then along here if you want pockets. If you don't want pockets, you just run it along, you know, all 4 edges. And then you would just attach this in here. And that's it. Now if you're adding a D-ring, you'll need to add your D-ring, of course, before you add your paper bags. But that's it. That's how I do my binding. Very simple, very quick, and I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.